Go. Hello, hello, hello. It's Erin Stiles. I am back. You are watching the Stiles Report, listening to the Stiles Report. It is Tuesday, August. My apologies for not being here last week. My time management. Well, okay, not really my time management. I forgot my wallet. Okay, so my granny, my granny wanted some ice cream and some bread, right? So I was like, okay, I'm gonna run to the store before I get her ice cream, her bread, and then she wanted me to go to CVS and pick up her prescription. So I was like, bet I'm gonna leave early. I'm gonna run to the store, run to CVS, do all that good jazz, hop on the freeway after I drop it off to her. Get to Ralph's, realize I don't have my wallet, like at all, like nothing. I have no form of payment. Maybe I should get like Google Pay now.
You don't keep like a card in the back of your phone?
No.
I keep an emergency card on my phone.
I don't.
So you can put it right behind your phone case. So what you should do?
My phone case is clear.
So I give you some game. What you should do is get you like, I was gonna say a Rush card. That's hilarious. Get you like a Cash App card or a Venmo card. You know.
I have one of those, but I really don't. I just got it just because they offered.
That's what I'm saying. That's perfect. I don't ever use so it for anything. What you should do is any little extra change you have, just transfer to that. You feel me? So if you're ever out and about, you at least got $100 on you.
But I couldn't pay with it at Ralph's. If I had my Cash App but no card. Oh, you mean carry the card with me?
Right.
Got you.
No. Even if you have a Cash App, you could just use your phone.
Okay, you're probably right. Yeah. Oh, you know what else? Something total side note that I learned on TikTok or from TikTok this week. That you can learn a lot of useful shit from TikTok. I feel
I've never been on TikTok.
I don't have a TikTok account because I feel like it's just another means to suck up my time, effort, energy, and attention. And I already have a disgusting attention span to begin with. Like, it's piss poor, so I don't need anything else. Instagram, and when I be playing around on Twitter, that takes enough of my time. So I don't have a TikTok. But, you know, people post their TikToks on Instagram, so I still stay in the know. So, okay, so you know when you go to the gas station, right? And you're paying with your card.
Right.
Typically, you have to stand there and watch it if you only want to spend $25, $30, whatever, right? If you want to spend a preset amount.
You have to think when you pump it.
Yeah, and then you got to do the little handle trick, blah, 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 right? Well, I found that if you go and you hit clear, clear, and then hit enter, it asks you how much you want to spend, and you just type in the dollar amount.
Wait. Before or after you put your card in?
Before you put your card in.
First walk up,
as soon as you walk up to it, you hit clear and enter.
Oh.
And then it'll ask you, how much you want to spend. You put in your dollar amount, and then you tap your card or put your card in, and then when it goes, it says, prepaid for $20 or $30 or something. So you can just go sit in your car and chill, and you don't have to. Sometimes you'll fuck around and look up.
I kind of like that,
I tried it. So I saw it and I was like, okay, so I went to a regular rinky dink gas station. I didn't even go to a real gas station where I felt like they would have some state of the art technology. I went to some neighborhood shit and it worked. So I figured, okay.
There you go. Okay.
It worked.
Well, who knew?
So yeah, back to story number one. I forgot my ID or my whole wallet. And then I had to go back to the house, and it just threw me off because then by that time, and I think Nick had to go somewhere by 3:15, so I couldn't make it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So my apologies,
yeah,
but
when your days get tangled up, they get tangled up. That shit is
have,
from morning to night with you.
I realized lately my days have been getting really for the last couple of months because I haven't been adhering to my morning routine like I used to. I've noticed when I adhere to my morning routine, my days are a little bit more seamless than they are when I don't. And do you have a morning routine?
I try to keep a morning routine. It's just my sleep routine is off.
So what time do you typically wake up?
It depends. Right. This is what I'm saying. I only can sleep 4.5, 5 hours max.
Okay.
So if I fuck around and go to sleep at 8 o'clock, 8:30, I'm up at 4 a.m.
See, I can't.
No matter what.
I can't. My body does not sleep past 8 o'clock, irregardless of the time I went to bed.
Right.
I could go to bed at 6:30, and I'm just back up at 8. Okay. But I'm typically up at 5:30 or whatever. But I used to like to. I'm up early doing jack shit early in the morning. But I like to get up and stretch and listen to sound bowls. I'm obsessed with sound bowls lately.
Well, sound bowl. What's the sound bowl?
Sound bowls are these big, large crystal bowls. And you have a crystal stick or some other type of apparatus, and they go around and Yeah, and they go around and they make these noises, and I just feel like it kind of sets my mind up in the morning because
you have a sound bowl.
No, I don't have a sound bowl, but there's this girl on Instagram that I follow. I think her thing is called like Soul Energy or something like that, and she does incredible sound. I only like hers. Everybody else.
Wait, yeah, there's a nigga playing with bowls, and I'm not.
Right.
No offense,
like
but...
I like hers, but because everybody, I just like the tone of hers.
Oh, wait a minute. See, you finna get me any damn bowls, nigga. Hold on.
It's the best thing ever.
Hold on.
It's the best thing ever.
You done got me hyped. Hold on.
Can you hear it over me talking like
what the
bowls?
Bowls?
Last time?
I wasn't playing the bowls.
Oh no. Okay.
No, this is just on a picture. So these are not. These are the bowls you're talking about.
Correct. They have them in different types of material, like this is gold, or they have them large in like crystal or rose quartz, or you know what I mean, different types of marbles and stuff like that.
See, you know what? This look like a dope ass weed ashtray though for me.
Oh, you would be disrespecting it by using it as
That's
an
why
ashtray.
I just said it out loud. Like I don't want to, you know what I'm saying? I don't want a nigga to come in here and my shit sound weird because it's weed.
Yeah. So you see like the colorful ones all the way to the left. And different material makes a different noise, makes a different sound.
Oh.
So if you have rose quartz, it makes a different vibration. If you have, different, the crystals and stuff like that they're made out of, they make different noises. So.
Wow.
Yeah. So in the morning, I like to wake up.
So tell the people, what do you do? Show us.
Okay. So I get up.
You gotta. You don't have a bowl. You gotta get your bowl. I don't have a bowl.
I just listen to them. So I just get up in the morning, and I try my hardest not to touch my phone. I realize that I'm addicted to my phone. The sooner you admit it, the sooner we can get over the hump. I'm addicted to my phone, so I can't touch my phone early in the morning. At least for an hour or two. As long as I don't touch my phone for the first hour or two, I'm on a roll for my day. But once I touch that shit and then get on Instagram or some other bullshit, it's like downhill from there. So I put my headphones in, and you know what I mean, and just put on old girls. Let me find her.
What's her name?
Here.
Oh, they got one with SZA doing it.
Yeah, it's the best thing ever.
Yeah, let's see.
You guys need to get on it.
I want to show you guys kind of how it works. So let me show you guys this quick video. This is SZA. She has some different type of bowls, as you can see right here. I like this. Maybe you're just a fan of gold, but I really like this gold thing.
Soul Energy Space is her name on Instagram. Soul Energy Space is her name on Instagram. So I usually go to her page, go to her videos, pick the first one, and just let them run out. And then I have like a little balcony area, and I'll go and I'll sit there, and I just listen to the bowls.
Do you have to cross your legs when you sit down? Because everybody got their legs crossed.
No, because I'm not doing it. I'm just listening to it. So, I'm reading The Secret, so I'm almost done with it. So I'm always reading a book. So, I get up and I read maybe 30 minutes or so, however long. I have an affirmations book that I read through and I update.
Look at you, Erin.
I do, right. And I update.
Caring about your life. Look at you.
I'm trying to. That I update as I read, like as I see different passages in the whatchamacallit. Like one that I had to rewrite on every page today, which was a message to myself, was the cost of procrastination is the life you could have lived. And it just rang so heavy to me, and I had it, and I was going through my affirmations, and it's written on one of the pages, and I just felt like I really needed to hear that. So I went back and I wrote it on every page. So when I go through in the morning and I read every page of my affirmations, the procrastination is the cost of the life you could have lived. I'm gonna have to read that on every page so I can get my shit. I'm trying to get my shit together.
So let me ask you a question while we're here on the affirmation book. Is it what's it called again?
No, it's just a book that it's actually this gold book that I found a couple of years ago in Barnes and Nobles. It's really cute. But it says luck favors the prepared.
Facts. Michael Jordan said that too.
Yeah.
And Jay-Z said that.
Yeah. So I bought that little book, and that's what I put my affirmations in. So I feel like that's my inspiration.
I wanted to ask you, what do you feel is more effective for you, the affirmation book or something like a vision board? I've never really made a vision board. I've attempted to make a vision board. Okay. That's my problem in life is I have attempted 1,000,001 things, probably 1,000,002. How many have I completed? Let's just be real with myself. Kanye West said it.
Right. So that's what what I'm working on. That's my hump. If I'm being transparent, that's
follow through.
Yeah, this is just I like see A and I see Z, right? Mm-hmm. But B through Y is where I have the issue. Like the
doing the fucking work. Like, I'll do all the research. I'll be super prepared. I'll be extremely knowledgeable. I'll have every vertical, kind of like T's crossed, I's dotted. Mm-hmm. But I never really like jump and implement all of this information that I've just, you know what I mean?
Maybe learning is your true passion, though.
It is.
Yeah.
Learning
That's
is,
what it sounds like.
Yeah,
right?
Learning is my true passion. But also broke ain't my true passion either.
But that's the thing, though. Knowledge is actually the real wealth. Not
yeah. But I need to figure out how my knowledge can get me on vacation. You know what I mean? I'm just
if you look at the world, a lot of dumb niggas is rich right now.
My point exactly. So what the fuck, right?
So you have to understand it, though. Like, what's the white man name with the big beard and the long hair? The scientist nigga. Everybody thought he was super smart. Yeah, that nigga.
Stephen Hawking? No, not the one in the chair.
Not the nigga in the chair. Albert Einstein.
Okay.
Like Albert Einstein. You see how he dressed?
I don't aspire to live
but you got to think about what's going. This is wild. This is what I'm saying, Aaron. I think personally, in nature, the two don't match. You see what I'm saying? I think in nature, just the two don't match.
I could see that.
Right.
I could follow.
Just from I don't have any proof. Anybody.
If you gave me
just
more
observation.
points,
No, just observation.
You could take me along that argument.
Right. Just observation.
You could take me along that argument. So, nonetheless.
So you're rich. That's what I'm
rich.
You're rich.
It just doesn't reflect monetarily at the moment. So that's kind of what I do in the morning, nice. And then I get my day started. I'm supposed to work out, but I haven't the last couple of days, but we're going to get to it.
Wait, if we have anybody that wants to call in and share your morning routine or any advice, you want to give the number out?
Oh, it's right there.
I got you. I got it. The number is 818-914-4087. 818-914-4087. He who thinks that he keeps $20 in emergency cash on a secondary card in his son's name.
What? That first of all, what? It ain't an emergency if it's $20. Okay, that's not a real emergency.
I mean, you could have put that in your pocket, nigga. You didn't need to put that on no card.
That's not.
You could put $20 under. Okay, so I'll tell you one of my things I used to do. I used to when I was a kid. When I would make money, this is when I was doing what I should be doing. I would put $100 underneath the sole of my left shoe.
Okay.
Right? And I had a ton of shoes. So all my shoes
had $100
under the left shoe.
That's smart. Right. Well, I usually have at least a couple of dollars in my tray, in the car or whatever.
Okay.
But I'm not in my car because I'm in Alex's car. So
I don't do that because I feel like a nigga will break in for a couple quarters.
I don't really like it.
I feel like niggas will break in your car for a few quarters and not be upset.
Well, they won't see it.
Oh, you got the little smoker tray.
The one
the little smoke ashtray.
Yeah. I'll put like some money in there. So, enough about me and,
That's a good morning routine.
My struggle.
I like it.
Yeah. So that's what I do, and then. But I love the sound baths, soul, energy, space.
You got to get you a bowl.
I do want to get a bowl, but
and a stick. The stick look cool too.
But the thing is, I don't live by myself, and I wake up way too early. Yeah. Me and Tiffany have two totally different schedules. Like, I'm up at like 5:30 in the morning all the time.
That will cause argument, nigga.
Yeah, and she's not. So I try to be respectful because I do want a bowl. I do want somewhere where I can do it myself and create my own sounds and whatnot. But
yeah, that'd be cool.
So yeah. So let's get into it. So what has been going on in the world for the last week and a half? So one of the big things, if we start with sports, is NFL is back. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh yeah.
Dun, dun,
Monday
dun.
nights.
Right? NFL is back. So preseason started. Who's everybody have? I want to hear what everybody's team is. Put it in the chat room. Call in 818-914-4087. So who's your team, Nick?
I don't watch football.
Okay. Well,
normally I root for whatever team Tom Brady's on. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
Normally he's pretty good at winning. So if I'm betting, I usually bet on Tom Brady.
Okay.
He's won me a lot of money.
I can see that.
Right,
he's probably won a lot of people a lot of money.
That's honestly the only loyalty I have in football is Tom Brady won me a lot of money, so I usually rock with him.
Okay, well, I don't really have a team just because I grew up in LA, and at that time we didn't have a team. I kind of say that the Falcons are my team.
How did you get there?
Because I went to college in Atlanta.
Okay.
So
I
lived in Atlanta for 6 years, and that was the first place I had ever lived that had a local football team, and just to see the passion and the way the city is and how they rally around their team. So that was my first experience of that. So
By default, I say the Falcons, but I don't follow any of them. But we had a game this week at the new SoFi Stadium.
Word.
With the Chargers and the Rams. They finally opened up. Finally had people out there.
Are you going to a game?
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go to a few. And the Chargers won 13-6.
Nice.
So
was it good? Was it a good game, or was it kind of like
Oh, I didn't watch the game.
Oh, okay.
I'm just telling you that there was that there was a game.
I'm not gonna watch this shit.
Also in sports, Nick was telling me about this, that Muhammad Ali's grandson had his first professional fight.
Yeah.
Professional, right?
Yeah. His
first professional fight. What's his name? It's not Muhammad Ali grandson.
Well, that's what everybody's calling him now. So, let's see.
It says boring.
Nico Ali
Walsh.
So
Welsh.
I think he. Well,
Which
Welsh,
one is
what's
he?
that?
They're both white.
Nigga, that's hilarious. He's the guy with the braids. So hold on, y'all. I'm gonna show y'all in case y'all have never seen this guy.
I've never seen him.
It looks like. Do they have a new movie coming out? The fuck is going on? Have you seen this?
No.
We were just watching a clip of Martin Lawrence.
Okay.
And,
Okay.
So that's his grandson with the.
Oh,
with
he
the
got
braids.
a little power. Oh, he got a little power behind that.
Yeah. So he got a little. He definitely knows how to box, as you can see,
Yeah.
turning his hip on the blows. Good, look, that's nice.
Oof, that was nice.
That's nice.
That was nice. That was nice.
That's
He ain't
nice.
playing.
Left hand jab set up.
Right. I
Nice
guess the
body
braid should have
shot.
let you know.
My God.
Yeah, he been.
My God.
It looked like he ended up boxing because his family got tired of him getting in fights.
Right.
So they was like, "Get your ass in some boxing."
You know who your granddaddy is, nigga?
Right, because those punches got some fury.
So like,
with
yeah.
him.
So obviously, when I seen this, I used to box for a little second. If anybody don't know.
Okay.
So what I see is he's definitely a good fighter, but I don't know if you ever seen Young Ali. That's a whole different thing. Because
to get into it.
You gotta watch Young Ali. If y'all have never seen Muhammad Ali box, watch Young Ali fights. Oh my, it's like watching a movie. It's such a beautiful thing. But shout out to his grandson, man. He got his first professional fight in.
And in the lane of boxing. So do you guys remember, are you guys familiar with the boxer Errol Spence? He's out of Dallas.
Yes.
A few years ago,
Nice.
He had a really terrible car accident. Do you remember he flipped his...
Shit, I didn't know that.
Yeah, he had a Lamborghini, Ferrari, something or another of that sort, and got in a terrible, terrible, terrible car accident. This was probably like a year ago, maybe.
Oh shit, I didn't know that.
Oh, it was horrible. Google it, look at it. It was horrible. But he recovered by God's grace. You know, I don't think anything was majorly wrong with him. But within I believe it's been about 2 years maybe. So he's recovered, and he was supposed to fight Pacquiao this weekend. And because Pacquiao is the governor, isn't he the current governor of the Philippines? Isn't that crazy? Like you have
that nigga on the basketball team.
that you have a governor of a country is flying to fight. So
that's hard. Shout out to Pac-Man.
Right. Shout out to
out there thugging.
Shout out. And if you have any Filipino friends, growing up in LA, you have a lot of Filipino
Shout out to
friends.
Haley.
And Filipino friends, Filipino people are super solid. Super solid. So he was supposed to fight them this weekend, this Saturday, but when they did the pre-fight checkup or whatever, come to find out, Errol Spence had a tear in his left eye.
Ooh.
So they wouldn't.
He probably got a little glove in there.
So they wouldn't clear him to fight. So he ended up having to get eye surgery last week. So Pacquiao was determined to keep the fight on because that's a purse right there. So another guy who was supposed to be doing, I guess in the same class, your Dennis Ugas. I don't know. Mm-hmm. But his opponent, the same thing happened. When they did their pre-fight warm-up, they found out that he had a cut in his eye as well. So they decided to link up and fight each other.
Pacquiao and you Dennis, what's his name?
Yeah, Pacquiao and Ugas, U-G-A-S. I've never heard of him. He sounds East European.
This looks like a big guy, though.
Let's see.
Is this he's a brother?
I don't know. Google it.
Yeah, it looks like he's a brother right there.
That
looks like the guy right there. This is some of his highlights. Let me show you.
Who was the hot? Oh.
I think it's the brother right there. This nigga right here, the red shorts.
With the red shorts?
Yeah, this.
Oh, this looks like that's going to be a fight. Let's see this.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this brother can scrap, y'all.
Okay.
And he rock, listen, y'all, if any black man is just rocking the George Jefferson, he finna whoop your ass. That's street rules, nigga. We know that. Any nigga come out there with the George Jefferson, nigga.
Okay, well that's who Pacquiao was fighting on Saturday. So
I might watch that.
All right, I wasn't
Pacquiao
really interested, but now
Pacquiao might get
I'm
fucked
interested.
up this weekend.
And lastly, to wrap up sports, has anybody seen Malice in the Palace on Netflix?
Oh,
it was
beautiful.
Malice in the Palace. If you guys aren't familiar, if anybody is listening to me that's younger, I doubt it. However, in 2004, Ron Artest, Steven Jackson, and Jermaine O'Neal was whooping niggas' ass in the stands at the arena at the Palace in Detroit, and they were playing for the Indiana Pacers. They were playing the Detroit Pistons. I believe it was a playoff game, right? And they were right. It was like the last maybe minute of the game, probably less than that. There was a scuffle. I feel like, well, I shouldn't say I feel like, to me, the players were scapegoated through the process. And after watching Malice in the Palace, and it was actually very interesting because they broke it down frame by frame.
Right.
So they had everybody talk about what was going on in each frame. And when you look at it, they talk about how Ron Artest was very disrespectful by laying on the scores table.
Right.
But as Ron Artest was telling it, because he had a lot of shit going on mental health wise, he had just started seeking therapy, and his therapist was telling him to how to contain his emotions and go off to the side and count to 5 before you engage in something.
Right.
So he said by him going and laying on the scores table was him practicing basically therapy in real time. And he was trying to zen himself out to kind of calm it down, and then somebody threw a drink dead on him, and
that nigga had great aim.
All that fucking therapy went out the window.
That nigga had great aim. I'll give him that.
Right.
Whoever underhand tossed that cup, nigga. Them niggas, y'all should have played motherfucking
And all of that
softball.
therapy went out of the window, but it was actually really cool to watch. It was a really quick watch. It was maybe only an hour, less than an hour and 20 minutes, but it gave you a very different perspective. Reggie Miller was in it. So it was
Rasheed
cool.
Wallace in it?
Rasheed Wallace, I believe Rasheed is in it for a second. Steven Jackson, nice. Jermaine O'Neal, and Ron Artest and Reggie Miller are the 4 major, what am I trying to say? Participants in the documentary.
Or narrators, I guess, right?
Right, narrators, participants.
That's dope.
But it was, it was good. It was kind of sad because at the end, it showed that Jermaine O'Neal got the shortest stick out of everybody.
That nigga was knocking niggas out though, and he was the
right,
biggest
but,
one.
And then David Stern, which when you look back on the history of David Stern, David Stern was really kind of like low key. I don't want to say a piece of shit, but he had questionable judgment calls over his tenure as the NBA commissioner. Right,
well,
that's the best politically correct way to say it.
In all fairness, in man culture, when you're 5'5", you're surrounded by a bunch of fucking giants who run around like superheroes.
Right.
Your ego won't take place. So I'm sure a lot of things he did.
I never thought about that.
Right. That's definitely what that is.
I never thought about that. So
right.
Do you think you should have, like, when you're in a sport, that whoever is running it should be someone who is capable of playing that sport, so they don't have that kind of, you know what I mean, that negative ego, I guess, vibe working in there?
I've asked a few of my friends who played in the league this question about coaching. Right, and they always say there's great coaches who've never played professional sports, right?
Right.
But their information is limited, right? Because it's only so much you can learn from studying instead of actually applying the information. You get a whole new perspective on what you're learning. So he said there's only so far you can relate to the player. So I think definitely running a business, if you actually participated in that business,
it gives you a different perspective, of course.
And you can understand why the players feel a certain way and all that kind of stuff. So,
but I just feel like, well, in the end, they kind of made it that it was the players' issue. When you watch it and it breaks it down, it was actually the fans who kind of kicked it off. But I understand as a business owner, you can't blame your fans because your fans are what keeps the lights on. However, your fans are paying to see these players, are paying to see these players. So I guess it's tricky if you want it to be. But
I'm gonna say this. Shout out to Ron Artest. He's probably one of the most underrated basketball players, at least in my generation of watching basketball that I've ever seen.
Ron Artest?
Definitely. And it's because he wasn't a magnificent offensive player. He was a really gritty.
He was a really great defensive player.
Yeah, when I say great, top shelf.
And that's what sucked, because on the documentary they were talking about that this was Reggie Miller's last dance to win the ring, and they were more than likely going to win the championship. However, in the end, Reggie never got a championship. Jermaine O'Neal's career was kind of just short circuit, and Ron Artest and Steven Jackson ended up winning a championship with the Lakers and with the Spurs respectively. So it was kind of tough.
Shout out to Reggie Miller.
Right, shout out to Reggie Miller. And they all expressed a lot of regret behind them, fucking up Reggie's chance to make it to
them niggas was
the
boxing
big
out
dance.
There. Them niggas was sliding.
So yeah. So what else do we have going on? Okay, so let's talk about this. So everybody used to love Power, right? Going into television. So everybody used to love Power, and 50 Cent, you cannot deny he has been a brilliant businessman to take one idea, smack it, flip it, rub it down, and he got 5 ideas out of it, and everybody is eating. So big up to that.
Right.
I loved Power when it first came on. The first 3 seasons, I believe it had like 6 seasons. The first 3 seasons were really good. It was gritty. The acting was good. Everybody loved Ghost. He was so delicious. But then after that, it became real soap opera-y, like just storylines that are just unbelievable.
So, as my dad would tell it, my dad was here. This is what he would say. The reason is because when you first start off, you get a bunch of great writers that probably ain't got no jobs.
Right.
But they're just great at what they're doing, passionate, they're
right.
into it. But once the money starts coming in, by the 3rd season, 4th season, everybody wants a raise because they see what's happening.
Right.
Maybe you don't want to pay these guys, so you bring in a whole new set of writers,
mm-hmm.
and you start that process all over again. And they've seen the show, so they might have a whole different vibe
of where they think it should go.
Right.
Well, the second tier of writers, they didn't hold my attention. I would say that. They didn't hold my... I mean, I watched it, though, faithfully. Every week, I still tuned in. I just talked shit the whole time I watched it. And it was cool, but it was ready to go. So then they had the spinoff that followed Ghost's son, Tariq, when he went to college, right? So that was the first one. So right after...
What?
Right. So after Power ended last year or the year before last, the very next spinoff was a show solely on the son, Tariq.
I didn't know that.
So Tariq is in college. It picks up right after Ghost dies.
Okay.
Right? So right after Ghost dies.
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
I didn't know he died, but spoiler alert.
Okay, well, spoiler alert. Even more spoiler alert. Tariq kills him. But
they
pick it right. It was real. That's what I'm saying.
Didn't he kill his sister or something like that too?
Exactly. And he didn't kill his sister, but his sister got killed behind. That's my whole point. Like the ending of Power just got to be just too ridiculous.
The son kill his father?
But the first spinoff is the one with Tariq, and it picked up literally like real time of right after his father passed. He's in college. His mother is in jail because she took the rap for the murder instead of the son, and his dad is dead. That one was okay. I like Tariq as an actor. I like him as a young actor. I felt like it was fun. The whole college vibe. It was cool. So that went off, and now the second spinoff is Raising Kanan, which, if you're familiar with the show, Kanan was a character that was played by 50 Cent. So Raising Kanan is basically the spinoff of the coming of age of Kanan. Growing up in the 80s, his mom was these are the prequels to Power. Nice, right. All of these are the prequels to Power.
I see what you're doing, 50.
It's about, because his mom was selling drugs and growing up in the 80s and all of that good jazz.
Is it any good?
It's good. I mean, it's
not Power.
I think I'm just over.
You powered out.
I'm powered out. I think that's what it is. I'm powered out because it's good. The actress that plays his mother is absolutely gorgeous. She does a great job. Beautiful woman. The brothers do really good. The cast all around is good. I think I'm just kind of over the drug, shoot 'em up, bang bang 80s storyline. But then there's another one that's supposed to be coming out after this one, which is supposed to pick up with Tommy, which I am interested in seeing that one because I like Tommy as a character, and he was supposed to have left town and went to Chicago. Yeah, that's Raising Kanan. Where's his mom at?
How's this young kid doing as the lead?
He's doing pretty good as a lead. He's doing actually really good as a lead.
That's what's up.
Yeah, he's doing really good as a lead.
I'm always interested to see like new young black actors come in and do their thing.
Yeah, he's doing, and that's another thing. Is like regardless of what you might think of the storyline of Power, you have to just think of how many black actors have been working off of
Right.
50 Cent and his shows and his prequels and sequels and all of his jazz. So you can't knock the man. I think it's just my taste palette at this point.
You know what I think is amazing too?
Needs a
Shout
break.
out to 50 Cent. I think it's pretty cool how all the 90s entertainers and MCs and singers kind of went into fashion.
And he went into
And this, like the 2000 kind of, you know, entertainers, or seemed to go into stand in the entertainment, taking over the film industry.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Like, I think about all the MCs that came in 2000, most of them became actors or
Right.
producers or writers in the film world. So I think that's pretty dope that they're branching off into that industry and being successful.
Well, speaking of legacy artists, Nas. Oh man, Nas is just great to me to begin with. I just love Nas. I think Nas just is aging beautifully. He looks like he minds his business. He drinks water. His water is like alkaline. He eats his green vegetables. He dates women that don't cause no drama.
Facts.
Like he looks like life is swell for him. So I've always liked Nas. But he came out with the King's Disease 2 recently, produced by Hit Boy, I believe, produced exclusively. Shout out to Hit Boy. They got
Nas, you better not switch up, nigga.
they got a banger on their hands.
Stay with Hit Boy.
So my favorite song is Brunch on Sundays. I don't know if we could play it. I don't know if they can hear it, but basically it's just talking about the joy of brunch on Sundays. And if you guys are brunchers like myself, I like to brunch. I haven't been brunching lately because COVID is fucking up the vibe. But yeah, it's just from beginning to end. You can put it on and it just flows. There's Lauryn Hill on it.
That's my song, Nobody.
He
That's
has
my
a
joint.
record with Eminem on there that is just.
I didn't like that one.
I liked it just because it just, people don't rap like that anymore. You know what I mean? So it just kind of just showed that raw, gritty, 8 Mile kind of
Okay,
like
I can appreciate it from
hunger
that
with
standpoint.
that. Right. It was an amazing album. I have been listening to it on repeat,
You got
especially
Charlie
Brunch
Wilson on there.
Huh?
You got Charlie
He got a
Wilson?
Charlie Wilson. Everything bangs. And, you know,
Yeah.
usually everybody says about Nas is that he was always a really great lyricist, but he could
Incredible.
never pick his beats.
Nigga,
His
the
beats,
worst beat
right,
picker.
his beats would always be trash. And Hit
Oh.
Boy, so once I listened to this nonstop for like a week and a half, I was like, let me listen to King's Disease 1, the original one, which was pretty cool. But if I had to compare the two albums, King Disease, the original is not one, just King's Disease, it gave me that old Nas, right? That Kingsbridge Nas, that Illmatic Nas, that, you know what I mean? Like that early New York hip hop Nas.
Right.
Still hungry and
It
in
kind
a
of reminds
point
me
to,
of the I think what album is the Ether on?
right.
It reminded me of that album.
And
If you
I
guys listen
listened
to
to
that album,
Ether again.
Incredible.
Oh God.
you know, I'm gonna tell you what makes Nas a genius. When the song comes on and they go, "Fuck Jay-Z," you know that's Tupac.
No, I didn't know that.
That's what makes him even more of a genius. Like
It was Ether is just disrespectful.
nigga, so disrespectful.
Ooh,
You
Ether
tie-
is
He
disrespectful.
called that nigga a tie boat hoe.
Oh, that's the most classic line ever.
Oh my god,
Oh, I love
Nigga,
it.
that they
But
do a
yeah, the
tie
first
boat?
King's Disease sounded like he still had something to prove, or he was ready to not really reclaim his throne, but to let motherfuckers know
Right.
stop sleeping on me.
Right.
And this one sounds like all of his tech money has come in, and it sounds like it all hit the bank at the same time. And life is sweet, and life is good, and there's just, I don't have to prove myself anymore. I can just enjoy the fruit of my labors. But as you were saying, Nas actually silently went into a lot of tech investments. What a lot of people don't know, like he invested in The Ring. Ended up making like $40 million off the Ring light bulb, and he's had a lot of silent tech investments over the year. He actually has I think it's called Kingsbridge, where he invests in different tech companies and whatnot.
Nice.
It sounds like he has like his own venture capitalist fund.
He also has a clothing brand too called History.
I never heard of it.
Nice. I don't know if it's a clothing brand, but I do know they make hats.
Okay,
I do know that
so
part.
yeah, so I feel like he actually went the best route because your money kind of, you know, they said he invested $4.5 million in Ring when they were went public. They were evaluated at $1 billion. He made $40 million off of that.
So it sounds like he's been making very, very, very wise investments. But if you have not listened to it, check it out. Nas's King Disease 2. Definitely listen to Brunch on Sundays. I played it for somebody on Sunday, and they took me to brunch. That's how much of a vibe it is. I was like, yo, listen to this song or whatever. So it was Brunch on Sundays, and it was Sunday. And he was like, you know what? Fuck it. It's Sunday. Let's go to brunch. And we went to brunch and had a beautiful time. We went to Huntington Beach, looked at the water, had a great, great, great brunch. So shout out to Nas. I got a little Brunch on Sundays. Off your song. In other music news, so Aaliyah, you know, A-A-L-Y-I.
Hey, shout out to
A-H, right? So Aaliyah, late great Aaliyah. So for a long time, it seems like her family has kept her catalog really kind of close to the heart, right? Mm-hmm. Close to the family. And I don't want to say monopolized because it's their people's shit. You know what I mean? They could do what they want with it. But they just it hasn't been on any of the streaming platforms, I guess, to get to the juice of it. Mm-hmm. So recently, Aaliyah's entire catalog is being released on all of the music platforms, all the major music platforms. So the Apple Music, the Spotify, the Tidal, and whatnot. So any Aaliyah fans who want to run it back, she is now streaming on streaming services. And as always, I'm still looking for WizKid tickets. It's coming up, man. 1 month away for the LA show. Still looking for WizKid tickets. And it seems like everybody I know has been in Vegas these past couple of weeks watching Usher. So
yes, that is true.
Right. So it seems like maybe that should be a ticket I need to look into.
And I heard he killed it.
Everybody says he kills it. Everybody says he kills it. So maybe I need to look into Usher in Vegas. But Vegas is just so hot in the summertime. Like, if you guys have never been to Vegas in the summertime, it's hell on earth. And then with this climate change,
you got to keep a mask on. You fuck around past.
Oh my God, you fuck around and it's so hot out there. It's so hot. But yeah, and then I'm not a big gambler. So Vegas doesn't entice me on that end. I'm not a big drinker like that. It doesn't entice me on that end. And I've never really gone to any shows. So maybe I need to start doing adult shit in Vegas. Maybe that's where we're at with it.
There you go. Have you ever been to like one of those big performance shows in Vegas?
Like the Cirque du Soleil or something like that?
Kind of that vibe. Not the actual.
I've never been
Soleil,
to a show. Period. I've only been to one. Right. I've only been to one comedy show. Last year. For my cousin's 21st birthday, we all went out there, and that was like the last hoorah before COVID hit. Wow, that was actually the weekend that Kobe died. I remember being in our little timeshare and finding out Kobe died. But I was so tired.
You should go. You should go to a live.
I do want to go to a show.
Live performances. I want to go to like, it's not Cirque du Soleil, but it's they do have circus niggas doing a big ass play. And it's very theatrical and shit. Niggas be flipping all over the stage. They got this big water pit it's crazy. And it's like a medieval theme to it. So like I've seen a few plays like that before. Very, very interesting stuff. Also want to go to an opera too. I don't know if anybody's hip to that.
I've gone to an opera. I like opera. I like doing stuff I just like dressing up and feeling fancy. So anything that doesn't have me in the gutter. Because I was, we'll talk off camera with one of your folks had me in the gutter this weekend. Thugging. One of your folks have me in the gutter, but we won't even. Out there
thugging. You shouldn't have been there, nigga. I wasn't there.
Digger.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't even want to tell my own business. Y'all not gonna spray me with my tea. This one I'm keeping a secret. So let's talk about secrets being kept. So Andrew Cuomo, the New York governor,
this nigga,
he resigned last week because he kept touching on people and doing things he didn't need to be doing. And apparently Letitia, I forget her name, but she is the New York Attorney General, and she opened up an investigation. 11 women came forward. She investigated. She did a report, basically said he was being a creepster, and he resigned.
But why did he resign? Because of allegations?
Because, it's the Me Too movement. And I just feel like it's a generational thing. And I feel like if he would have just kind of I was watching Real Time with Bill Maher, which is like one of my favorite shows. That's like my favorite Saturday morning activity. I wake up really early and I get on the couch and I watch Real Time with Bill Maher.
I don't know. I'm boring, but I'm fun.
Hilarious.
So, Bill Maher was saying that if he would have just taken the approach of like, because Andrew Cuomo is single, he's and he got his nipples pierced, so he about that action.
Yeah, what's up?
Right, he got his nipples pierced, so he about that action. So if he would have just kind of blamed it on like, I'm an old man and I don't really date and I'm powerful and I kind of did, and just because of generational and of the times, and I reached out to these women or did unwanted advances, but if we just kind of look at it as cumulative, what's the word? Cumulative.
Yeah, cumulative.
Yeah, but he resigned, which I was surprised. I didn't think he was going to resign. I didn't think he was going to resign, but I feel like there's a real plot and a plan that's coming on, because now they're going to take a Republican governor and bring him in there, and you got the whole vaccine shit. It's deeper than rap.
You know who next, though?
Oh, Gavin Newsom.
Yeah, and then
Gavin Newsom, which is kind of like, think about it. You got the New York governor just stepped down. They're trying to recall the California governor, which he was paying off people's backs rent and shit. So I don't see how anybody's gonna. But nobody's really talking about it.
They're gonna get Biden. They're gonna get Biden ass up out of there too.
Oh,
they're gonna fuck because he fucking up. You notice.
Where's Kamala? Where's Kamala? Anybody? Where's Kamala? I ain't seen or heard from Kamala. Where's Kamala?
This the thing.
I saw more Michelle Obama. She was just the first lady.
That's a good point. With Trump, because he was out there freestyling and shit, he gonna give you some jewels to play with. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be at least entertaining, or it's gonna be honest, whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Biden's ass, he keep fucking up so bad they don't want him to keep talking.
Cause he's trying to be too calculated.
My nigga, did you see him reading the screen the other day?
No.
I said, okay, if anybody's
was that
ever
the town
taken
hall with Don Lemon?
Yes, when he was talking about the people leaving Iraq.
Okay, no, I didn't see that.
So if you've ever taken a speech class or did any kind of training, public speaking training, and if you have to read a teleprompter, they tell you to try to keep it natural, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what you want to do is kind of with your breathing, you want to kind of break eye contact with the camera.
Right.
Because you start to look weird as fuck when you don't break eye contact.
Right.
Imagine talking to a person and the whole time they're looking directly at you.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Right. So the whole time he's reading the teleprompter, the nigga ain't blinking, his neck ain't moving, nigga just dead center, nigga just going through the whole shit, nigga, like, and they looking like, my nigga, come on. All the niggas behind him was like, you got this old nigga out here.
It's a lot going on.
But I have a question. Do you think it's bullying?
What?
What's going on? Because Como, like, if he's single, right, he got his nipples pierced. I don't know if it's unsolicited attention until I holler at you.
Okay, but let me just rule of thumb.
Okay.
If it is where you eat, don't shit. That's the rule of thumb.
Okay, but
and I get what you were saying, and you're like, well, I don't know if I should side on the air of caution or err on the side of caution or whatever, nigga. Be careful. You know what I mean? That's all I'm trying to say is, like, if you at work. Let's just say there's a 93% chance she ain't interested.
But that's not true, because most people, right, especially think of his age demographic, right, most of these people would probably meet the people they end up dating in their work environment.
But that was, like I said, that's a generational thing.
Yeah,
right?
but that's no. Even now, right?
But why would you,
right,
Andrew Cuomo, who looks well into his 70s,
right,
why would you think that Melissa, fresh out of college at 23 years old, and I get everybody on the come up, but why do you think she wants your old ass on top of her?
I got my hair slicked back, nigga. I got my nipple pierced. I know this bitch in debt. I got the paper.
Well, he ain't got no job now, so thinking like how you think, he out of a governorship position.
Como, I'm disappointed in you for backing down.
I was surprised because he really resigned really quickly too.
That means he got extra dirt.
That part, because I felt like he resigned really quickly. So that kind of was
came
just
out,
like,
that nigga was like, I'm out, nigga. Fuck all this shit.
Right, and as you were saying, Biden. Let's get on to Biden.
Because
politics is real quiet since Trump has been gone. Like, you don't hear a lot of noise. You don't hear a lot of noise, but that doesn't mean there's not a lot of shit cracking, because there really is. So you have Biden, who, depending on who you ask, we finally pulled out of Afghanistan this week, or within the last week, hastily. It wasn't supposed to be so hastily, but it was. So we finally pulled out of Afghanistan after 20 years. I remember, this is going to date me a little bit, I guess. I literally remember sitting in...
You were in class.
Huh?
You were in class.
I was in class. I was in college. Yeah. And I forget what class it was, but I remember someone saying, we just dropped bombs. We just went to war with Afghanistan, and then going to the dorm and just watching. Remember, it was the shock and awe.
You wasn't in college.
Yes, I was.
This is 2001.
We went to whatchamacallit in 2002.
Yeah, some she was it. Oh, you are a little older than me. You might have been.
I'm not older than you. I'm just smarter than you. I was skipped.
Oh, comes in here like, nigga, I remember being in class when this happened. Okay, excuse me.
That part.
Shout out to Erin.
I was a genius. I skipped several grades.
At least you put the was on there. Go ahead.
Come on, right? That was humbling, right?
Well, I can respect that part.
I ain't even got no comeback, nigga. That you see, I got my sensei in the morning. I'm trying to get my shit together. I'm fumbling out here.
So, are you familiar with what happened in Vietnam in the kind of the similar vein to how they're pulling out Afghanistan?
Not really. I mean, my uncle is a Vietnam vet. My uncle is a Vietnam vet. He's the fucking coolest person. I wish I could have brought him up here when he came out here, but he got COVID, so that wasn't working. But he's the coolest person ever, and he has this script that he's writing, like this huge notebook that he writes by hands and these stories, and like he ended up getting 2 Purple Hearts because his whole, what do they call it, brigade or crew or whatever, right. He had been hiding out somewhere in Vietnam, like they got attacked. And I shouldn't say hiding out. Let me not put that on his name because I really don't know what he was doing. But he tells a story that he was walking through an area that just got attacked, and they were having a hard time identifying the bodies. And as he's walking through, he's like, "Oh, that's such and such, and that's such and such, and that's such and such," because that was his whole crew, or whatever. Shit. So they had him identify basically his entire brigade. He had to identify them so they could, contact the parents, and they gave him a Purple Heart behind that, and then he got another Purple Heart. But Purple Hearts come with some shit.
Yes, that's fuck. I brought up the Vietnam War. It's been a couple of people that either were involved in that or survived that war. That's been making statements about how similar this exit from Afghanistan is to what they did in Vietnam. And if you're unfamiliar with the history of it, America actually went into Vietnam. The Viet Cong did not happen until after America's presence in Vietnam.
What is Viet Cong?
The Viet Cong would be the equivalent to the Taliban in today's term, right? Because they were the group that was subscribed to fight the American soldiers when they got there. But the issue was America went over to Vietnam and they took out the power structure. And then they put their own power structure in there. So they put Vietnam people who agree with their philosophies.
And then when they left town,
and the locals didn't agree with those people, so they created the Viet Cong to fight against basically the people America had put in there. That's literally what they just did in Afghanistan. They went there.
It's bad.
They trained a bunch of people to become Taliban. Now you have the Taliban, and now they leaving. So
it's sad. It's very sad.
Shout out to
from a okay. So this is a multifaceted problem.
Facts.
If you look at it from an American citizen, right, and we look at it solely from that vantage point, we can all rejoice about time. You know what I mean? We've spent trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars while our country has literally become decrepit and crumbled, coast to coast on a war in Afghanistan that really has got us nothing, nowhere, nothing, and nowhere.
But that's not true.
What do we get?
I'm going to tell you. See, a lot of people don't know why we actually went over there.
Was for the poppies.
No.
What?
That too. They had to fix the heroin deal.
Right. Think about
the timeline when everything started happening. What they went over to get was lithium. There's a huge lithium mine over there.
Okay.
Lithium is a primary source to power all your iPhones
and your tablets and devices.
So think about iPhone came out what, 07?
Yeah.
The iPod came out with 04. So right after they went over there and they got to control the lithium mine, they were able to start producing. Remember we had electric cars in the early 2000s start coming out?
Oh, no. Really.
Remember that little Honda bullshit?
I do.
So yeah, so that was one of the not saying the main reason, but that was one of the big financial reasons for going over there fucking them people up, was to take control of that lithium mine and to get the poppy seeds cracking.
So
get that drug game back.
So if we look at our exit from there, we have lost way too many people. We have lost way too many citizens, way too many young people who had real lives, lives ahead of them for 20 years. That's a whole generation. Like
I mean, your kids could have went and fought in the war, damn near. Think about like if you were 20, coming out of high school, going into the war back then. You fuck around and had a kid before you left. Your kid could have fucked around and grew up and joined the army.
I mean, yeah, there was a lot of people.
I just feel like it's, I mean,
that's crazy.
when you look at it from a financial perspective, when you look at it from the time spent, when you look at all of those resources could have been invested in America, and we would actually be vying for position 1, 2, or 3 against, you know, China or Japan or all of these major countries that are, you know what I mean, trying to take the number 1 spot, I guess, from America. That part. But then when you look at it from a humanitarian perspective, I feel so bad for the women and the children and the generation of people who grew up in Afghanistan that didn't know of a Taliban, who knew of women's rights, who knew that girls could go to school, who girls could have driver's license and they can have jobs and they can go to beauty salons, and you know what I mean? Like, now burqas are mandatory. Like, the Taliban ended up taking over Kabul within 48 hours. So from the time that America left, within 48 hours, they ended up taking over Kabul. They've actually had Kabul for the last 48 hours. And there's a lot of women judges and women professors who are saying, like, when she got home, she had to burn all of her credentials, because if they come and see that you...
Get that shit up out of
right.
here.
And this one lady said that the Taliban came to her mom's house and... for 3 nights in a row, and basically was telling the mom that she needed to cook for them. And the mom was like, I don't have the capacity to cook for 15, 20 men. I don't have the money. I don't have the food. I don't like, and they were like, ended up beating the mom with the AK-47. And on the 4th night, when she came and was like, I don't have it, they ended up beating her with the AK-47 and killing her.
Oh, wow.
So it's about to get real in these streets, and everybody saw the images the past couple of days with at the airport. Did you see that?
Nigga,
where everybody was clinging on to the.
Well, what are you thinking though? Because if it take off, nigga, you are not Tom Cruise.
Well,
my
no,
nigga.
they showed a few of videos on Twitter where you saw people actually they fell from the sky.
And they died,
you know what I
nigga.
mean? But the only thing that kind of struck me as odd when I was watching the television footage of everybody like kind of clamoring to the side of this aircraft, they were all men. So it's like, where are the women and children? So if in the event that you were able to get on this plane, like all of these men, you guys were just going to leave town, and you know, women, children, kids, they were just going to fend for themselves. We have a caller. Caller, what's your name and where are you calling from?
Hey, it's Nakia from the Bay.
Hey, Nakia.
What up?
Hey, so I heard y'all, I'm kind of behind. I was getting my hair braided, so I heard you guys talking about the recall of the Governor Newsom.
Correct.
So the whole thing about that is it's the Republican pull, because they're trying to say that he had too much authority and that he put California down too much by having us still be closed and to wear masks.
Okay.
That's their whole push to try to put a recall.
But I feel like keep going.
Oh, and like one of the candidates, I was listening to the debate a couple weeks ago, and one of the candidates kind of really pissed me off. Like, he's a businessman, but he figures that there should be no minimum wage. So his first thing when he gets in the office, if he gets in the office, is to abolish the minimum wage. So then we would be covered by the federal minimum wage, which is only like $7 an hour.
Right. California has one of the highest minimum wages in the country. I believe it's at $15 an hour is our minimum wage.
It's almost 15. There's like, because I know Oakland's not quite up to 15 yet. They'll be up to 15 at the end of the year. But yeah, we are one of the highest. And the government right now, I remember when I was in like 16, the minimum wage for California was $7.25, and the federal minimum wage was like $3 and some change.
I remember that.
Damn.
So I'm like, nigga, he feels because he's a businessman that each business should regulate what they should pay a minimum they should pay a person to work.
No.
I'm like, fuck that, because you motherfuckers don't value my time.
Because if that's the case, then I feel like these landlords need to, you know what I mean, supplement the income, because it's like you can't say that a business owner is their responsibility to say what is the minimum that they'll pay somebody when the cost of living in this area isn't taking the minimum of nothing right now. You know what I mean? You have to make damn near $100,000 in California just to qualify for a house.
No, you gotta do 2 jobs and a little bit of fraud on the side.
Right.
Facts.
Right.
So I'm like, that ain't good. And he's like, well, and he feels that if he takes away the minimum wage, that will lower the cost of living. I'm like, no, that's not going to
lower the cost of living.
Well, you know, the theory is that they're trying to get everybody on a fixed income system.
So if you're on a fixed income, does that mean you can't make any other income? Like, can you be on the fixed income and then you got to hustle on the side?
Right. A fixed income would be everybody who's below a certain line would just get a fixed amount of money a month, like they did for
the county,
like they did for the pandemic.
I mean, I'm not opposed to
that.
that.
That's some bullshit.
But the danger in that is, if you guys ever look up the Utopia mouse projects, right, which is a gentleman who did a study with these mouses. He put them in these captive little cages, but he gave them everything they needed that they didn't have to look for in the wild, right? Like fresh water, food, a nice place to sleep. And he watched these mouse, and he noticed over time certain groups of them became lazy. Certain groups of them started fighting. Some groups of them became self-obsessed. They would just groom themselves all day. Right after that, they established the first project buildings for black people. It was designed on this. So when you look at what's happening now, it looks like they're trying to take that same method and apply it to the United States in general, right? Which if you have a group of people, and if I give you housing, right, and if I give you what you need, what does the average person need to make every month?
You need, you mean month-wise, like dollar amount?
Yeah, just to get by.
I would say the average, depending on where you live, I would say average 35, $4 grand.
No, I'm talking about after your rent's paid. After your rent is paid.
After rent is
just to eat. If you want to just eat, get some toilet paper.
I feel like just maybe another
$1,200. Right. That's what they're looking at. Right. So if you're
just doing basics.
That's what they're. At least this is what I heard. I don't know this for a fact.
I feel like take it, because if you're able to, but then if you can take it, are you able to like say if you have a business on the side and your business starts to surpass this this guaranteed wage or guaranteed
then I don't
income,
think you would get that.
Is it like how they do you on the county? Like now you can't get it. So then, but then that would force people to just stay right,
But I think the majority of people would take the fixed income.
Yeah.
Right, because who wants to go work at Denny's?
Right.
Right. When
see, my thing is like this: is like I don't want to be on a fixed income where I'm dependent on someone else to give me my money.
Right.
But aren't we all? If you have a job, aren't you technically on a fixed income?
You have people who have been on fucking welfare and shit for generations.
Right.
Because they were taught, hey, you know what? Go have a couple kids, and the government's gonna take care of you, and that's how they survive. I'm not that type of motherfucker. I like to go out and get my own.
Right.
But if you use the logic of like you were saying, you don't want somebody to have the control, you know what I mean, giving you not necessarily a handout, but if you're having a job, isn't it the same thing if somebody is there? Yes, they're paying you for a skill set that you have, but essentially they're still determining whether you eat or not, or if you get paid or not. Because like if you think about the Denny's, if everybody leaves, does Denny's cease to exist? Because who's gonna work at the Denny's?
But if I'm the government, why I give a fuck about that? You can order Denny's. You can order Denny's from your house, nigga.
Well, who's giving it if everybody who makes Denny's ways is...
But now if I'm Denny's, right, I don't need this big-ass restaurant. All I need to do is be able to cook this shit, and I need runners. That's it. I don't need tables and all that shit no more.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I mean,
ain't no multi-millionaires going to Denny's. So, I don't need no tables, nigga.
True.
Yeah.
That's kind of like what they do with these so DoorDash has these ghost kitchens now, where basically... you go, like you'll go online and you'll order from a particular restaurant, but the person who's picking it up for you ain't picking it up from that restaurant, they're picking it up from a ghost kitchen.
So basically they're renting out...
From a nigga's house?
No, they're renting out restaurant spaces, you know what I'm saying, where they have different kitchens and stuff like that. So if you say that you are Johnny's Pad Thai, you and all your ingredients can set up shop and make it there. So when people are ordering it, somebody just coming in. So one person might be making Thai, one person might be making salads, one person might be making vegan. So you think you're ordering from a restaurant, but essentially they're just coming and picking it up from...
You could do that shit from your house, nigga.
Right.
You get a nigga with a nice little button up on, you can run that shit right out the crib. Nikia,
no, you can't, because of what's that shit, the food and health inspectors, you can't do it from your house.
Nah, if I'm an online business, nigga, they don't know.
Yeah, they do, because even if you're gonna be an online business, someone's gonna report your ass to the health inspector, and you won't have to get licensed for that. Because my friends are doing it right now. They're doing it out their house, but they've gotten their house up to par to where they were able to get a license to do so.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling in, Nikia.
Thank you, Nikia.
All right, y'all have a good one.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you a question about the Birkins. Not the Birkins. Is that what they call Birkins? Burkas, right?
Burkas, yes.
So this is what I have a hard time wrapping my head around, right?
Uh-huh.
And this is the issue that the Viet Congs had. This is the issue that the Taliban had initially was, you can have whatever opinion you have, right? But you can't come to my house and implement your way of living.
Okay, I agree.
Right? So we can all sit in America and look at those women and say, oh, that's messed up. But we don't grow up in that culture. So
okay.
if we were in America and I grew up wearing a certain clothing all my life, I would have no reference point to feel no kind of way.
Right.
So we assume that these people feel this way.
Okay.
So all I'm saying is, it'd just be weird for me to go into someone else's house and say, hey, man, you should do this with your son, and you should do this with your daughter, and you don't treat your wife like that.
But actually, when you think about it, they didn't implement, I believe, in Afghanistan until like maybe the late 70s, early 80s, when you had like the heavy Saddam Hussein rule, that the burqas and all of that were kind of introduced. Before then, if you look at like Iraq and that whole region, women were in college and stuff like that. It wasn't until it was like a power vacuum structure or something or another. I bet you we were behind it.
I'm going to have to look it up.
But yeah, so that's when the women in the burqas and stuff like that. So you might have grandparents or even parents who remember what life was like before
Got you.
we have that. And then also, what about the children that were born in 2001 who are 20 years old now and they never even knew a life of wearing burqas and stuff like that? Like, that's never been a reference point for them.
Right, but I'm saying, how can a person that's not in your own house, in that house, say anything about what's going on in the house?
What do you mean?
Like, we're in America. You should have nothing to say about what's going on in Afghanistan.
No, I 100% agree with that.
Right, that's where my confusion comes in.
No, I agree with that. I feel like a lot of times we use different cultural norms to judge other societies and other cultures, and sometimes you can't do that, you know? I just feel bad for the women. I just feel like it's about to get really bad, and I feel like that's some fucked up shit. Like,
it's not.
But on America, it's like twofold. No, it's not, because we need to bring these troops home. We need to bring this money home. We need to just bring all of our focus home because we are in a shit show here. You know what I mean?
You have no reason to be there.
But then on the other hand, you have to think about all of the people that are just being left high and dry. To see people to hold on to an airplane. Do you know how desperate you have to be?
But you can't flip flop on your gang and then be like, oh, you trying to get up out of here? You shouldn't have flip flop, nigga.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Put your burqa on, nigga. Call it.
DJ out there, Vegas.
What's cracking, DJ?
Not much. I want to speak on the Afghanistan thing. You know what I'm saying? For my research, what happened was, you know, everybody blaming it on Biden. And that's the part I don't get. Because every president that we had in the last, you know, since Bush has been taking troops up out of there. You feel me? We've been over there 20 years. You know what I'm saying? The whole goal has just been to get people up out of there. So now when he come and he, you know, get to the end of it, now everybody mad at him. But just like, I mean, I haven't heard a lot of people mention that the fucking president left. The military left. Everybody that
did they leave or did they get ran out by the Taliban?
No, them niggas left.
They left. They left. They chose not to fight. They put their guns down and they said they not gonna fight for this shit. So if they're not gonna fight for it, why would y'all want Americans to be over there still fighting for it? That makes no sense. If they're not gonna fight for their own country.
You have a point. I mean, I can follow that logic.
I can't run your fade, my nigga, if you run.
Exactly.
I can't take your fade.
I get that, but my whole thing is,
we done spent
I'm looking at it from
dollars over there. Look, we done spent trillions of dollars over there. Many American lives have been lost over there. Right. What more do y'all want? Y'all want to keep losing lives for nothing? Y'all want to keep the troops over there for nothing? Just because we leave out, they gonna run and tuck their tail and they let the Taliban take over. So whose fault is it?
But that's the thing, is the people who are going to end up suffering, it's not their fault either. You know what I mean? Yes, it was their government. Yes, it was their people who chose not to fight for them. But it's just like when you go talk to a kid, you know what I mean, right around the corner from here. Like, to him, Washington doesn't affect his day-to-day life. That don't have nothing to do with him. He's trying to eat or whatever the case may be or the circumstance is. And I feel like that's the same thing as, yes, when we look at it from a geopolitical perspective, you know what I mean? If we look at it from a macro view, I 100% agree with you. But if we kind of look at it from a micro view, the people who are going to be most affected had no power in it from beginning to end. You know?
But hold on, DJ. Hold on.
Job is
Hold on, DJ. What about from a cultural perspective, right?
What do you mean?
So say that if I'm in the Middle East and I'm part of this Taliban group, right? And my primary premise is I don't want American influence over here in general. The music, the clothes, nothing. Because I see what's happening in America, right? I see that y'all women out there shaking asses on TV and shit. My girls ain't doing that over here. So because of that reason, we're not adopting anything that y'all do.
Okay.
That's what that's what I see the messages coming from the Afghan people who are sticking to their culture, right?
But
go ahead.
It's two parts. At first, to what Erin said about the women and the children, like, whose job is that? Is that our job to be over there saving their people? That's what we was over there first for, because we took that on as our job to do, when it's really not.
But they did start it though, DJ.
But did they really start it? Like, I mean, but even though when you look at...
Wait, you said who started it?
America.
Yeah, but they started it for a reason, because they came over here bombing shit.
Bro,
you think they did 9/11?
Out, bro.
You think they were responsible for 9/11?
Bro, a nigga in a box cutter couldn't take my car, nigga. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but you wasn't on that plane, nigga.
DJ, if a nigga walked up to your car, it walked up to your what do you got? A Hellcat, and this nigga had a box cutter, and he said, "Get out the car, nigga." What you doing?
Listen, I wasn't on that plane.
DJ, I know. I'm just asking you, just simple logic, right?
You can't ask me that because I wasn't there.
I'm not talking about a plane. I said if somebody walked up to your Hellcat and pulled out a box cutter and told you to get out the car, are you getting out the car?
They can have it. Yes, they can have it.
Over the box cutter?
Yes, I'm not dying over a fucking car.
I don't think you can die from a box cutter, nigga, but go ahead.
So yeah, none of us was there, but you got to understand that that's where it started. Yeah, it was a snowball full of things, but that's where it started. Y'all got to remember that is a terrorist organization.
They didn't do that, bro.
That there was suicide bombers and kidnapping journalists and chopping their heads off. Like, you can't forget about all of that,
bro. Bro, you're missing the premise on why they were doing it. If I'm over there and my logic, and I'm not saying who's right or wrong, but if my logic is I don't agree with any influence coming from this side of the world, so that means you can't send your journalists over here, nigga.
You just said that we went to war in 2002. When did 9/11 happen? 2001. That was a year before. So that happened first. So I think that y'all missing the premise.
DJ, but this what you missing. This what you missing. Aaron brought out a good point, right? Is that when they went over there, they ain't find no mass weapons of destruction. You know what they found?
No.
Hold on, DJ. DJ, hold on. We weren't there, so we don't know why. But all we know is the facts is they didn't find any mass weapons of destruction. Hold on, DJ. That's what they said they went over to do. What we do know they did is
that's not true.
Hold on. That's what they said on national television. What we do know that happened is they went over there and got them poppy fields. We know that for sure, and we know that they went over there and got the lithium mines.
But these are two totally different countries. We're talking about Iraq and Afghanistan. Iraq was where it was supposed to have the weapons of mass destruction.
Right. That's where you got that wrong.
Right. So that's the whole point, is that we ended up invading Iraq when they said Afghanistan was the people who bombed the 9/11. They were the ones responsible, but we ended up invading Iraq.
That's called gang shit. That's called gang shit, nigga. Some nigga over there did it, so he's shooting the whole block up, nigga. Fuck it.
Because it's two different factions. You had Saddam in Iraq doing what he was doing.
What was he doing?
People don't even know that he was killing people.
Dog, he worked for the United States, my nigga. What are you talking about?
He killed the whole soccer team because they lost. Like, he was enslaving people. Like, y'all don't even
a lot
know.
of money on that, though.
He was doing a whole lot of stuff over there. He was committing a whole lot of human rights violations.
But how do you govern someone else's land?
That's my whole argument. This is what I'm saying. We have been the police for the world for so long, but if we don't do it, who else gonna do it? But that's what I'm saying.
But does it need to be done? But the question is, does it need to be done? I understand if we don't do it, who's gonna do it? But does it need to be done in the first place?
Especially by the biggest criminals to ever exist on the planet.
Yeah, but you still gotta.
How can the biggest criminals on the face of the planet govern everyone else and tell them they're wrong?
Because you seen what happened. We had nothing to do with it before, and what they do, they still came over here and knocked shit down.
Bro, okay, we just disagree on that point. I don't think a lot of people believe that they did that.
Yeah, but you're not going with the timeline. What happened first? The towers got knocked down first.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is I don't believe that 3 niggas in box cutters took over airplanes and crashed them into buildings.
Okay, well, that's what
coming
we're not
in
going to
room
debate
right now
today.
with box cutters, you and Erin
That's a
is
20-year-old
ass up.
argument.
I've had a box cutter
Y'all
pulled
do
on
that
me,
on your
nigga,
own
so.
time.
If somebody coming in right now on both of y'all assed out. There's nothing y'all could do.
I promise you it won't go how they think it's going to go, man.
Even if it doesn't, you still won't be able to be here to tell the story.
I promise you, if I ain't here, DJ, they ain't here. We got to go. Go take another call. Thank you. This nigga's crazy.
Thanks, DJ.
Shout out to DJ out there Vegas.
That's the whole thing. What was it?
That nigga said, we speaking French?
What was her name? Barbara
Streisand?
No, it was the one lady. Barbara Lee? I believe her name is Barbara Lee, one of the senators or congresswomen out of Texas. Mm-hmm. I believe she is the only person who voted against the Iraq war.
Shout out to her.
And then 20 years later, she was right.
So, I wonder how the families feel of like the fallen soldiers once the war is over.
That it was a waste of my child's life.
I often wonder that.
Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Yo, this is L out of Houston. What's happening?
What's cracking now?
Hey, look, let me tell y'all, man. I'm speaking not from what I hear,
okay,
not from what I saw. I'm speaking from what I know because I actually was over there.
Okay. Oh, speak
on
it.
Before I was over there, I actually was working with the bases and sending people over to Afghanistan. So, a lot of what took place pertaining to the Taliban, you know, they were running rampant on their own people. So. Not just running rampant because we were over there. They was running rampant on the people before we even got there.
What do you mean by running? L, what do you mean by running rampant?
They were killing their own people. They were bombing their own people. They were doing all that before we even got over there.
Okay.
So this is facts. This is not just some shit that I'm making up or think.
Right.
They were doing that before, and we went over there. Everybody wanted to say what they want to say. One of the main reasons we went over there was because of oil. All right, that was facts. I'm hearing this is shit that I've got from directly from military. All right, and pertaining to the Taliban, of course, you guys know they were already over there, way before when Russia ran them out. But they, as far as the religion goes, as far as what they're doing and all this stuff, look, when I was over there, they had the women in burqas, like in Dubai. They were wearing burqas, but bro, they were dressed up, if you can believe it, in burqas. So they had a lot of American influence, if you want to say, as far as their religion goes. It was already there, So overall, as far as the actual people that were working there, they used to have the locals that worked on our bases as well. And the Taliban, bro, they used to have to walk in groups. Because the Taliban, when they got paid, would come and actually rob them, would actually take their money, would actually go to their houses and take their money that they got from working on the bases. And if they found out any of these people were working on these bases, U.S. bases, they would even kill them. So it's crazy. And so that's why a lot of these people are trying to now get away that the Taliban is in power, and the Taliban is trying to say, oh, we're a different, organization than the 9/11 Taliban or whatever you want to call it, but it's not, it's not, bro. These people are scared. That's why they're running. I mean, you got to imagine, like you said, with the plane, somebody think it's better to get on the plane and hold on and take a chance on dying versus staying there. I mean, it's worse than what we think. Being over there, I mean, they were bombing their own people, man. I mean, my first week over there in Afghanistan, bro, they did a car bomb. Like, it was over a mile away almost, and that shit shook our base like it was right next to it. That's how strong these bombs are. So they didn't give a damn who they was taking out.
Yeah, I understand that. I was just saying that in America, right? I'm a black man in America, so we get hunted every day here. We see it on TV. You understand? So my thing is you can't use that to justify going to someone else's land and try to implement your laws. Like, if you say, well, they're attacking their people, America kills their people. America been lynching us. No, L, I know. That was my whole point, though, was just saying that regardless of what the reasoning is, you can't go govern someone else's space.
Correct. But
right.
The thing is, they didn't just go over there because they wanted to. they went over there for a whole different reason initially, to try to find out who did these bombings. Let's look at the reality. They went over. That's what they tell everybody. Oh, we're going over here to try to find out who did these bombings. And then it turned into something completely different. And the whole reason of them being over there was not the original reason that they went over there. If you look at the timeline of everything, it completely changed.
But L,
so we should have been going a long time ago.
Yeah, because it doesn't make any sense to me how the people who actually committed the crime, they died.
We should have been, but they were trying to look for who, not just the people that committed the crime, but the people that actually put it into action.
So I mean,
that was, but you got to understand, that's what they told us.
I was
that
just about to say, so did nobody watch Fahrenheit 9/11?
I did. Several times.
I was about to say, Fahrenheit 9/11 disputes all of these theories, but...
Yeah, so, I mean, yeah. But I know because people want to believe, in the good.
But it's all about, like I say, we always feel like, because you got to think, here's the thing, and I'll listen in after this. America will get involved in shit if they feel that they can benefit from it. If they feel like they can't benefit from it, then they don't have shit to say. Like right now,
like
the shit that's going on in South Africa with all the tyranny that's going over there. America never stepped foot in South Africa.
Right.
They didn't do one thing to help all these people in South Africa that was being killed and all the stuff that was going on.
They don't help the ghetto. So they got to go that far.
But I'm saying they pick and choose which countries they want to get involved with if they can get something out of it.
Right.
Period. That's how America's been rolling. That's how they roll. If they can't get nothing out of it, they're like, fuck it. Y'all deal with it yourselves.
Well, that's how it should be. I don't think you should be governing other niggas' lands. Thank you, L.
Thanks, L.
Yeah.
Shout out to L out of Houston.
So it's unfortunate. Let's see how it turns out. A little local news.
Uh-oh.
So there is, a few months ago, there's a Bank of America executive named Michelle Avon. AVAN. So last week, she was found dead in her apartment or her home in Reseda. If you guys are familiar with California, Reseda is the area out here. So Michelle was originally hired by Bank of America. She was 48 years old, black woman, actually gorgeous black woman. I think I sent you the link to her.
Okay. Let me see.
To her picture. But she was recently hired by Bank of America to be, I believe, the VP or the executive to serve women and the underrepresented groups in their business sector. So, anyways, I shouldn't say anyways, that's trivializing her life and her death. I don't mean it like that. Michelle was murdered, come to find out, by her boyfriend that she was dating, who was also a Bank of America executive named Anthony Turner, 52. So, in a little local news, that's kind of sad that you have Michelle Avon, 48, Bank of America executive, black Bank of American woman executive, hired to serve women in underprivileged groups, was murdered by her boyfriend, another Bank of America executive, black guy. I know.
Did they say why? What the issue was?
No, they didn't say why, but they did say he was arrested shortly after they found her. Like it was like a no whodunit, Apparently, they knew it was him.
Damn, that's pretty sad.
So we're gonna wrap this up. And one thing that we're gonna talk about that I don't know how I feel about it because I don't really, you know what I mean. So for the last few weeks, I would say pretty much since summer started, since like June, I had met this guy and we were gonna go out to eat, but we made a pit stop at this place in Culver City to have a Manhattan, right?
What's that?
It's a drink.
Okay.
So we went there, we had these Manhattans, and it's like a really like kind of like it gives you like a hunting lodge kind of vibe, nice. Real white folks, like we were probably the only black people in there. Just real white folks, like somebody on a ukulele and shit, like singing like real, like real down their lane. Yeah. But the Manhattans are amazing. They're super good. So he and I would go there every Sunday after that just to grab a couple Manhattans, right? So I stopped talking to him, but nonetheless, I still go. So whatever, don't show me to no shit. I will take everybody there.
Yeah,
it's gonna be our spot. So anyway, so I took this other guy there, and we had some Manhattan. It was actually really funny because So I get there, and the guy says, what do you want to drink? And I said, oh, get a Manhattan. And he was like, oh, I don't really know what I want to get. And I said, well, just get 2 Manhattans, right? So he comes back from the bar, and he sets the 2 drinks down, and I'm, like, looking at the people playing the little ukulele or whatever, and I look over, and there's 4 drinks in front of us. And I'm like, why do we have 4 Manhattans? He said, because you said you wanted 2, like 2 for you and 2 for me. And I was like, no, I meant 2, like... 1, 2, like just get 2 since you don't know what to get. But anyways, and then and then he was like, after like we're working our way through the first one, he's like, I don't even really drink like that. So I had to drink 3 Manhattans.
Well, you know that's guy code.
For what? I don't really drink like that.
No, I'm telling you, I'm not gonna be responsible for if I say anything out of line after this.
No, he was saying it like he didn't know if he was gonna be able to drink this.
I know. So he's saying like, so if he make a move and it don't work out.
Oh, well, he gave it to me, so I drank all 3 Manhattans.
And it worked both ways, get you tips.
But before we got in there, as we're walking in, the guy at the door says, can I see your vaccination card or your most recent negative COVID test?
You got a vac card?
Right. That threw me off because, you know, you hear people have been saying that that's what they're going to implement. You heard they implemented in New York. I believe we kind of implemented or talked about it at the very least, implementing something like that in California and Los Angeles County. But I didn't know it had went into effect or it had became law or mandatory or guideline or whatever. So I'm telling the guy, like, hey, you know, we've been here literally every Sunday since summer started. Like, when y'all start doing this shit?
Right.
And he was like, well, you know, just because you didn't know or whatever, I'll give you guys a pass. You can go in, but next time you have it. So what's the point? What's the point of getting
that makes no sense.
But nonetheless, he let us in there. But that was like, you know, the new normal. It's like the first time you went to the grocery store last year and you had to have a mask on your fucking face. And it was like that moment of like, okay, this is where we're at right now.
See, I think the mask, right, was the tester.
Was the test?
Yeah.
You watch Fox News?
No.
You sound like you do.
Well, I just think about logic, right? You know what I mean? I came up in the pimping game a little bit, so this was a lesson taught: is that you don't come out with the gorilla pimping. You got to ease it on them. Right. Because the human instinct will kick in. But if you just slowly, just ease it, give a nigga a little bit of poison at a time,
right,
they won't notice it. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like the mask was a way to see if people kind of ease up on their liberties.
But then that sounds like the people who you see.
Go ahead, finish this.
The people that you see who are the Karens and the Kens of the world who are always hollering and screaming like they're depriving our freedoms, and they look crazy now.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But hey. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
Shout out to the Karens.
Hi. I could have held on. Nick, she didn't have to stop her story. This is Seymour.
Hey, Seymour.
I don't know if you guys addressed the fact that our governor here in Texas has been threatening schools if they tried to have mask mandates, you know, with the children returning to school. His ass is tested positive for COVID and he's fully vaccinated.
Well, yeah,
Governor Abbott?
They give you COVID when you get the vaccine.
Governor Abbott?
Governor Abbott, he's fully vaccinated, and he's been fighting these schools and threatening the schools just like DeSantis over there in Florida, which I think wearing a mask is a no-brainer. With most, you know, our children aren't vaccinated. His ass was recently tested, like today, he's tested positive for COVID. But he's also getting that EUA remdesivir treatment, which is supposed to be given to those who are showing respiratory infections or pneumonia. He doesn't have any symptoms. He's getting the top-of-the-line treatment. He's fully vaccinated, but they're steadily telling their constituents, which I know that to get vaccinated is your choice, but these people that are telling their constituents not to get it, they're fully vaccinated. They're wearing masks. People around them are wearing masks. They're getting tested every day. And these dumbasses, I ain't wearing the mask, I ain't getting vaccinated, I ain't doing shit. But they're the ones that's dying. They're the ones whose kids are in the hospital.
Right. School just started in Florida, and they already have 5,000 children have tested positive for COVID. And, you know, Governor DeSantis, who is the governor of Florida, said that if they implemented mask mandates at the school, that he was going to withhold the payment and take up the school
these
superintendents and these teachers and whatnot. And then Biden stepped in and said, if that's what happens, I will gladly pay you guys' salary during this or whatnot. But yeah, it's some real shit going on.
But
my thing is the mask at a minimum is a no-brainer. I understand people not wanting to put a vaccine in their arm, and then I don't have children. I said if I had decided to get vaccinated and I had a child, I don't know that I would want this vaccine in my child. I'm fully developed. I'm grown. My child is developing. So it's a little different. But a mask to me is a no-brainer when we know this shit is airborne.
Right.
Yeah, but
And they're fighting people left and right. No mask in the schools. Are y'all trying to kill our kids?
Right. But Seymour, this is the thing people have to understand though about what's taking place. If you get tested, there's no test for COVID.
What do you mean there's no test for COVID?
Listen, you guys can look this up right. Please go look this up right now. They just said this. They just came out on the news and said that there's no test.
So what have we been doing up our nose?
Right. So that test they've been using, they just reported is bullshit. They just reported this 2 days ago. It's bullshit. It cannot.
Well, I need you to give me a source.
Hold on. It cannot identify COVID-19 specifically.
What is
it can identify the coronavirus, right, which is the same thing as the common cold. What people don't understand about this is you have the coronavirus year round. It never leaves. The common cold is always around you. It's in the summer, in the summertime, because of the heat, and we're constantly sweating and getting the toxins out. We normally don't see the symptoms of it, but you still have it. You can have a cold in the summertime and have no symptoms. It happens. This is a normal thing. So if I test you for a cold in the summertime, forget COVID, it can show up positive even if you have no symptoms. So that's the thing people just have to understand, and at least take your time and don't just believe the news, y'all. There's so much research. You can go to a website called bandnews.com. It's unsolicited. They give you raw information.
Band
it's called
News?
Right. Actually, they have an app called Band.
BAN.
Yeah, I'm gonna send you the link. I'll put the link in the chat
This
too.
sounds a little.
Yeah, I want to make sure.
At least it gives you a different source of information you can.
But what are the sources?
Listen, this is what I do. I don't rely on anybody telling me any source. I research everything.
I understand. Trust
So
but verify.
right. So if it doesn't matter who it is.
But I do want to say something too, and you can try to read up on this. The cold virus is the rhinovirus. So coronavirus and the cold virus are not exactly the same thing. They're similar, but they're not the same thing.
Right. The reason
I just want to clarify that.
The reason they're calling it a coronavirus is because it looks identical. If you look at the common cold, the actual virus, and what it looks like, you can't tell the difference between that and the coronavirus. They look exactly the same.
Yeah.
They have the same spike. They have the same spike proteins on them. Everything.
Okay.
What they're saying, the difference between the COVID is how it affects the
Aaron, go
respiratory.
back to your story. I'm listening. I'm sorry. I just wanted to call in.
No, that was good,
No, I
Seymour.
appreciate it. Thank you for calling in.
Yeah.
Positive for coronavirus.
That was good,
Thank
Seymour.
you for calling in. So yeah. So basically, that was my new normal.
So are you gonna get vaccinated now that you can't go get your
I don't know.
Hennessy
I
and
feel
orange
like
juice?
what's happening is that they're going to FOMO people into the vaccination.
What does that mean?
Fear of missing out.
Thank you.
I feel like because a lot of people have a heavy case of FOMO. They don't want to miss out. They want to still enjoy. Like somebody said the other day, don't do vaccinated things, and I was like, what the fuck? What is a vaccinated thing nowadays? Like we got vaccinated activities now.
Yeah.
Like now that's where we at in the world. But I guess okay. But for me, I don't really get sick. You know what I mean?
But like Seymour said, you putting everybody else at risk.
But how am I putting everybody else at risk when, like, literally, I probably have not had a common cold in about 10, 15 years. Easy. Tops. Easy. This past year and a half, I've had numerous people around me over the course of this last year and a half that have had COVID, that I have been around, and they have tested positive for COVID. People who I've actually smoked with on the way to the airport who tested positive for COVID days later, and I never did. You know what I mean? So I've never had a flu shot. I've never had the flu. And I know a lot of people are like, this is not an excuse. And it's not. But that's just kind of my vantage point is like, I don't get sick. I don't take medicine. I don't have any issues. I don't have any ailments. I've never broken a bone. I've just genuinely been fucking healthy all my life because I grew up with two very, like, salt of the earth, holistic parents. So,
Shout out to them.
you know, so that's just kind of, I guess my whole diet has always been immune system building, but you don't realize it. It's just food. So that's my only apprehension. Like, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's how I feel when it comes to me. Now, I understand all of the pros and cons. I understand everybody who is for and against it and all the different arguments with it and the vaccinated and the unvaccinated. I still, like, take extreme precautions. I still wear my mask everywhere. I still, do all of the good hygiene. I do bathe, so I guess that helps it a little bit. And I also think I was just watching this thing, like, we've been having this whole, like, Caucasian conversation this last week or so about, you know, their bathing habits, and they're like proud, and I'm like, you guys are too well off to be this proud to be this nasty, you know. But you know, as history would have it, a lot of moments in history, a lot of plagues have been started by the unbathed and the unclean.
Do your history, y'all.
And I will say that
White people brought disease to America. That's an actual fact.
Okay.
White people spread disease everywhere they go. That's an actual historical fact.
All right.
The Black Plague.
I'm just saying.
Polio.
So, I mean, I don't know.
AIDS.
Tiffany is vaccinated. I'm not vaccinated. We live together. But my thing is, once it comes to, like, if they say you can't travel or I can't get on, like, my soul cannot take being in the same spot. Like,
I think they know that.
No. This last year and a half has been really tough for me because, like, I know I sound like the brokest, bougiest bitch y'all know. I get it. And I kind of low-key am. But, like, I literally need to go on vacation, like, every quarter. Like, at least 3-4 times a year, I need to go somewhere. I need to have a change of scenery. It just feeds my soul and my creativity, and just everything that's great about me needs, I guess, a little spontaneity. I'm fueled by spontaneity. So if they get to that point, I guess I'm rambling. If they get to that point and say that I can't go anywhere with it, I'll feel like, But then all I can hear is my dad's voice in my head.
I never met your pops, but shout out to your
pops. He would not be with that shit right now. He would not be with it. My granny just got vaccinated the other day. That was my biggest thing because, you know, I look after my grandmother is, you know, possibly giving it to her. Like, even when I go to my grandmother's house, I'm always masked up. I don't take off my mask. Like, I don't play with my granny. So, I don't know. But, like, if they say you can't come to the WizKid concert unless you're vaccinated, what do I do?
You know, the good book says you can't serve two masters. You can't love the world and love the Most High.
One is the WizKid is not serving two masters. Okay. Caller, what's your name and where you're calling from?
Yo, this is L again. What's going on?
What's cracking now?
Hey, so look, I don't know if you guys saw this, but there was a big outbreak that happened in Massachusetts, and 75% of the people that were infected with COVID were actually vaccinated. And they had a doctor who sat in front of the board, and that was his specialty, dealing with these type of viruses. And he explained and told people, look, he told the board, you guys are never going to be able to find a cure. This is a virus. He said, we're stuck with this forever. It's just like the common cold. It's just like the flu. He said, it's not going anywhere. He said, so you can sit here all day long and try to find a virus, try to find a cure. You're not going to find one. He said, just like there's nothing for the common cold, just like we still have the flu. COVID is now the same thing. It's going to be part of us for the rest of our lives. And, you know, he was saying that the CDC is not looking at the scientific piece of it, and they're not telling all the correct information.
Fact.
And that's why now you're starting to even see younger kids developing it and getting, you know, COVID, you know, where it was, you know, happening, but not as often, you know, and heart problems and things like that from taking the vaccine, you know. So he's saying that, you know, we just need to be very careful, he said, and not put it in, because it's like they're talking about doing the third shot. You know, for people that took the 2 shots, now they're talking about doing the third shot.
It's gonna be every year. Nigga, gonna get boosted up.
But that's what I'm saying. It's just like how they.
It's gonna be ongoing.
It's just like how they push the flu shot. Like, I remember I had a job and they were giving it for free. And my whole thing in life, I feel like nothing in life is free. Nothing.
Nope.
Not near nothing. Not near nothing. So, like, I was always told if you're not charged for anything, you're the product. If they did not charge me for this service or this food or whatever the case may be, I am the product. And I think about that every year when they're at fucking CVS and they're like, we'll give out a flu shot. And I'm like, I don't know what you got in that fucking syringe. Like, I'll take my chance.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? God got me.
But you gotta look at the COVID, and you know, people are gonna have their opinions about it or whatever.
The COVID.
But when have you ever seen, even with the flu shot, even when they had new strands, you never seen the flu shot pushed out as much as you see COVID. And people are saying, well, people aren't dying from the flu like they're dying from COVID. You know, but they were.
It's a 93%
even at that point when it was happening.
Rate.
Hang on. Say again?
No, go ahead. I was talking to the chat room. You
got it. I said even when it was happening, and people were dying, it wasn't, the flu shot wasn't being pushed out like this COVID shot is.
Right.
I went to get my fucking tags renewed on my vehicle today. They doing fucking COVID shots and testing at the
DMV
at the damn courthouse.
Oh hell no.
They giving out $100, nigga.
But you hear about all of like the school districts have to have a COVID shot.
No one has to have a COVID shot.
Well, that's what they're saying that you have, and that by like October 1st, a lot of the hospitals out here by a certain date. And this,
so look, just to educate everyone out there, if you live in America, okay, no one can make a law if it goes against the Constitution. Period.
Okay.
That's period.
No, they're not gonna.
No, I know. So hold on, L, I know. That's what I was telling people. If you work for somebody and they tell you have to get the COVID shot in order to work there, you can file for paperwork to get exemptions for this. You don't have to do anything. They can't pass a law that goes against the Constitution. That's the law of the land. FYI.
Yeah.
They can make policies,
that's
but
what
they
I
can't
said.
pass laws.
They're not. The people are saying, they're going to make it mandatory. No, they're just going to try to make it hard for you.
Right.
To
Uncomfortable.
try to do things and live your normal everyday life. And if you're not educated enough, like you're saying, then you're going to fall for it.
Right. And or if enough people don't go for the bullshit.
Why is the agenda so tough on them trying to push this shot? Because people that are getting the shot are still getting it, and some have even died.
Well,
so what the fuck?
Well, L, a vaccine, they're actually giving you the disease.
Correct.
Right. That's how vaccines work. They give you a little bit of it so your body can build
Correct.
up
They give you a little bit of it to get your antibodies built up.
Which makes no sense because if I get COVID, that's literally the same thing.
Well, basically what they're saying is that your body has already recognized these RNA proteins with the COVID, so your symptoms aren't going to be as severe because your immune system has been boosted up.
So I'm glad you said that, because what they said was happening to the people who got, and L, please chime in on this. What they said to people who had the jab, and I don't know this for a fact, this is what's going on in the news, is that the reason that they're getting sick is because we have a common cold that goes around. It looks just like the COVID, right? So when that spikes up in your body, and say it's not that bad of a thing, that shot is making your body overreact to that small amount of disease or whatever.
It's fight or flight mode.
Right, and it's going into overdrive. Yeah. So that's why they're saying a lot of people who actually got the jab, that's what they're getting sick from, is that their body is going into overdrive because it's thinking something that's not or more dangerous than it is. Mm-hmm. So, you know what I'm saying?
Of course they're going to say whatever they're going to say. They try to get, to make it seem like the shot is not doing any of these negative things. And I told somebody, I said, look, you had in December 2020, all right, the FDA told Pfizer that they need to keep an eye out for anyone that has any type of reaction to the shot that may have gotten Bell palsy, to keep an eye out on that. So my thing is, when you get the shot, they're telling people, hey, look, you may get a headache, you may get a little symptoms, you may get the flu or something like that. But they're not talking about these other things that can happen that they know that could possibly happen from the shot. Heart issues, Bell palsy, the shakes, different things like that. They're not talking about, hey, you could possibly get these things either. They're trying to downplay the symptoms that you can get or the reactions or adverse reactions you can get from taking the shot. And that's the fucked up part. And it's like they're not talking about that.
Didn't the
FDA? A lot of people knew that they could get Bell palsy or have heart complications from taking this shit. A lot of people probably wouldn't even taking it.
Hell, isn't it true that the FDA did not certify the vaccines?
No, they did certify it in the middle of the night over the last weekend, and there's been no news about it.
Let me look this up.
Yeah. So probably last Saturday, the FDA approved it on a Saturday. Last Saturday, and I was surprised that there wasn't any news coverage on it. It was happened over the weekend.
It just said despite something.
But the thing is, people that have taken this shit, like I said, they're gonna have to keep on taking it. Oh, like I said, just already, they got a third shot you got to take, and people just took it. And then they say, what is it? They said 6 months. They have to do a booster.
Right.
Did y'all see that? You have to do a booster like 6 or 8 months or something like that. After taking it, you have to do a booster.
What are you Googling?
I'm trying to see what the news was about the FDA approving the vaccine shots.
Yeah, they approved it. Nobody heard anything about it. They did it on a Saturday, which was really weird. Last Saturday, actually, and we haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah, I'm not seeing nothing that's saying like nothing went against it. Yeah, I guess they approved it. Which one did they approve? All of them, or this says the Pfizer?
But why would they approve it on a Saturday?
Because everybody's out and about. Nobody watching the news on Saturday.
But then why wasn't it headlines on Monday?
I don't know, man. That's a good question, Erin.
But hey. But thank you, Al, for calling in.
So does that mean you could sue them now if you get injured from that? Or no, that's still in effect?
I don't know. I have no idea. And it's also weird because, like, every time you go to the doctor, you know, they always ask you, are there any drugs that you're allergic to? And I always say, not that I know of, you know, because I've never really, and they're very shocked by that. Like, they're nothing you're, and I'm like, I've never really been sick like that, so I've never really had anything major than, you know.
Well, you know, being allergic to something is a sign of a weak immune system.
What?
Being allergic to something. You have a deficiency in your body is what that's saying when you have an allergy to something. Yeah. That's why they're shocked there ain't nothing wrong with you. Like, what the fuck?
So that does it for today. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for listening to me. I did my, I'm back on my sound bap shit, so you see I was a little prepared. I was on time, and I had my stuff typed out. So we making progress, a little at a time. So once again, it is Tuesday, August 17th. I am Erin Stiles. This is the Stiles Report. Thank you guys for tuning in. You can find me every week here, every Tuesday, around 1:30-ish. We're gonna work on that next week. If you guys are ever looking for me during the week, you can find me on Instagram at the Stiles Report. That's Stiles with an I. You can find me on Twitter at the same thing, the Stiles Report, Stiles with an I. I'm not really on Twitter, and I'm not active on it. I just go there to follow my favorite horoscope accounts.
Are you on Clubhouse?
I'm not on Clubhouse.
Are you on TikTok?
I'm not on TikTok.
Okay, just asking.
I do need to get a TikTok though. I want to be the next Tabitha Brown. Not like that, but you know, she blew up off of TikTok.
Shout out to Tabitha.
Shout out to Tabitha Brown. She is a blessing. Oh, I don't know if shout out to Tony Baker. I don't know him personally, but I did go to a show that he was at. Remember, girl that was having the backyard.
I remember watching it through your live stream.
Right. So a few weeks ago, what's her name? I want to say it's Michelle. I don't think it's Michelle or Ashley. It's something common.
Right, something along those lines.
Well, there's a guest of Speedy's that has a backyard comedy show.
The loud chick.
And she had one a few weeks ago. Me and K-Dot went. Tony Baker was the headliner, and then also this guy named Ryan Davis, comedian that I follow and like. He was also there. So I don't know Tony Baker personally, but I know him enough through 6 Degrees of Separation. But I don't know if any of you guys have heard, his son was tragically killed with 2 other friends about a week ago in Burbank in a drag racing accident. Wow. They weren't drag racing. Apparently the other vehicles, 2 other vehicles were drag racing, hit their car, basically wrecked it in the best terms. And everybody died on site. All the people in Tony Baker's son's car, everybody in that car died. The other people who were drag racing, of course, nothing tragic has happened to them. I think one of them is in the hospital, but they're not badly injured. So on that note, crazy. Love and light to Tony Baker and his family. Once again, if you guys love me enough, you can cash at me. It's a $ Erin Stiles. And then I guess on Venmo, it's Erin Stiles 31. I keep everything Erin Stiles because, you know, keeps it easy. But thank you guys again. Thank you for tuning in. I will be back next week. I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. And I am out.
Wait, real quick. If you guys have any suggestions for shows or any topics you guys want to talk about, hit Erin up on her Instagram.
Oh, yeah. If you guys have it, I kind of want to do an Ask Erin topic.
Let's do it.
You know what I mean? Where people come in and ask me, because I feel like I have a very unorthodox way of thinking, and I look at both sides of the coin.
So maybe we should set aside maybe like 20 minutes and do an Ask Erin, and then you can go live on your phone.
Okay, yeah.
So maybe your Instagram followers can ask questions too. That'd be pretty cool.
So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you guys for supporting. I will see you next week, same day, same time.
We out of here, y'all. Shalom.
Ciao.